How do you think the Jake Paul-Anthony Joshua fight plays out?
I don't know. I want to make sure. I believe it once I see him in the ring.
If Paul starts his boxing career earlier, could Jake Paul have been a champion?
There's a possibility.
Um euch wissen zu lassen, dass ich bereit für einen Rückkampf bin. Sobald es mir besser geht, wenn mein zweiter Kiefer bricht, ist das in Ordnung. Vorerst kein Weihnachtsmatch-Hühnchen. Anthony Joshuas Kiefer auch.
Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, is finally breaking his silence, and his words are sending shock waves through the boxing world. After witnessing Anthony Joshua deliver the brutal knockout that finally silenced the problem child in Miami, Tyson's first reaction hasn't just raised eyebrows. It has completely flipped the script on everything we thought we knew about his loyalty. For weeks, rumors swirled that Iron Mike was playing a mysterious double game behind the scenes, whispering into Joshua's ear while the world questioned whose side he was truly on. But now, the truth is out. This isn't just a simple post-fight comment. It's a revelation that changes the entire narrative of the influencer boxing era. And once you hear the first words Tyson uttered following Jake Paul's destruction, you'll realize that the legend's true intentions were never what they seemed.
You know what I remember? Coming back from the first round, and then the next day I remember Jake is doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the ring?
Oh, yeah. A little bow at the end, he bowed.
And that's the last thing I remember. You know, but the day after the fight, right after, the day after, I woke up and told my wife, why did I do that? You know, I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
The energy inside the Casa Center was unlike anything boxing has seen in years. Fueled by a mix of genuine curiosity and a strange sense of impending doom for the YouTuber turned boxer. We all saw the headlines leading up to December 19th. But what happened in those final moments before the first bell was chilling. Mike Tyson, acting as a mentor to Joshua, had been drilling a single dark philosophy into the former heavyweight champion's head. He didn't tell him to box, and he didn't tell him to play it safe. His instructions were raw, brutal, and straight from the era of the 1980s Iron Mike. He told Joshua to rip into Paul with everything he had, regardless of fatigue, ending the instructions with a haunting command. Kill him before he kills you. It was a kill or be killed mentality that seemed to transform Joshua into a version of himself we haven't seen in years.
Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's two things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things, 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
But here is where the story takes a turn into the truly unexpected. Just minutes before Jake Paul made his walk to the ring, a walk that many now believe he never should have taken, the locker room doors swung open and in walked Mike Tyson. This wasn't a coaching visit for AJ. This was a surprise face-to-face with the man he was supposed to be rooting against. Tyson's first words to Jake Paul in that high-tension environment weren't full of the malice he'd shared with Joshua. Instead, he looked Jake in the eyes and spoke about the nature of greatness. He told Jake that while this was an extreme challenge, only those who dare to be great actually achieve it. He reminded the kid that the people who never take their shot are the ones who stay small. In that moment, Tyson wasn't just a mentor to the winner. He was a witness to the problem child's potential sacrifice.
Jake Paul is obviously, you know,
He's
big.
beautiful. My family loves Jake Paul.
Could you fuck him
Oh,
up?
I'm so fucking easy. I would never. I mean, it's my own fucking family. Everybody loves this little white motherfucker. When you see a white boy with balls, you know, fuck. I'm talking about from real, but like.
When the bell finally rang, the weight difference was immediately apparent. Joshua stepped in 30 pounds heavier, looking like a literal mountain compared to the man who had previously beaten a much older, more stationary version of Tyson. For 5 rounds, Jake Paul fought a retreating battle, trying to find the same openings he used against aging legends and MMA fighters. But the raw and brutal strategy Tyson had instilled in AJ was working like a charm. Joshua wasn't just throwing punches, he was hunting. By the 5th round, the momentum had shifted entirely, with Paul hitting the canvas twice. The Miami crowd, which had been vocal in their frustration early on, suddenly went silent as the realization hit. This wasn't an exhibition. This was a demolition.
Jake Paul, what'd you think of the fight?
Oh, God. I think the gig is up. I'm just tired of Jake Paul as a boxer. I think he's done a fantastic job. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I just don't know how many more times Netflix is going to go to bat for him. But I think they will one more time because, you know, the axiom is basically if you draw money, you're going to be getting chance after chance until you're not drawing money. And then you'll still get a couple more chances after that because he did draw money. And that's kind of where he's at right now. You know, he's going to draw with Tyson. He's going to draw on this one. And so he's going to get a couple of more chances, you know, with Netflix. And they'll pay that, you know, good for him. They'll pay that money. But, man, these are, you know, this was just a bad fight. And made boxing look bad. Made boxing look bad in many ways. You know, especially it just was a circus, and the guy, you know, going for takedowns and the ref's not doing anything. I thought the ref was terrible. Thought Joshua, you know, was not good. Hurt himself, and then he even admitted it. And Jake was just out there not trying to win a boxing match. He was trying to survive and get the moral victory so he can go out there and be, you know, oh, you know, I lasted 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And he survived 6 rounds with him.
He survived all right.
But I
He
mean,
never quit. Like somebody I know.
The climax arrived in the 6th round with a ferocity that few expected. Anthony Joshua landed a right hand so devastating that it didn't just end the fight. It sent Jake Paul straight to the hospital with a suspected broken jaw. The problem child had finally met a real problem. And the aftermath was nothing short of chaotic. As the medical teams rushed in, the cameras immediately panned to Tyson, who was watching his protégés work with a look of stoic approval. His post-fight reaction was a masterclass in complexity. He expressed a deep respect for Paul's toughness, acknowledging that the kid had stayed in there longer than many expected. But he didn't stop there. Almost immediately, Tyson's mind jumped to the future. And what he said next has the entire boxing world in a frenzy.
Very easy question to answer, very easy question to ask off the top. And I'll ask you the same one that I asked AJ. What did you make of that fight? What are your impressions of that fight?
I mean, I thought it was much better than I thought it would be. I mean, I know that people are going to say, well, Jake was running and Jake was hold. But listen, I mean, at the end of the day, Jake had one job, and that was to try and survive. I mean, he was never, ever going to win the fight, ever, ever. And if you would have said to me, do I think he'll go 6 rounds? I would have said absolutely not. I mean, I felt that it would take AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him because I knew Jake can move a bit and he'd be moving off the back foot and he'd be holding. But it was the way that he did it, I think, was actually quite impressive. Like, not that particular part, but the way that he would, you know, the way that he was strong in the clinch. You know, he wouldn't let AJ get his shots off in the clinch. He made him miss a few times. And obviously, AJ's been out of the ring for a while. But to be honest, I think the most fascinating thing of the whole night in terms of the fight was how he didn't get flatlined by that right hand. I mean, I said going into the fight, he's probably going to take AJ a few rounds to get hold of him. And I also said, as soon as he lands clean, the fight's over, right? He landed a few before, but the first that he landed really clean was the final shot. But, you know, he never flatlined Jake. I mean, he did break his jaw in 2 places, which is a disaster. But there are a lot of heavyweights that would have been out cold from that right hand. I mean, one of them was Francis Ngannou in a pretty similar shot, really. Do you know what I mean? So I actually give Jake unbelievable credit for doing it in the first place, but his performance as well. I mean, I stand by the fact that I think he's just a decent cruiserweight, but like, he did go in with Anthony Joshua, and look, the world is full of criticism and opinions and negativity. Who else is doing what he's doing at what is he, late 20s? I mean, quite phenomenal. I mean, the guy's a complete madman. I'm watching him come out to that ring walk, and he's just an incredible entertainer. And I'm sort of standing in the ring going, is he for real? And he did all right. I mean, I know people will talk about the holding, but his job was to survive, and he survived for nearly 6 complete rounds.
You would think that seeing a man's jaw shattered would be enough to close the book on this rivalry, but Iron Mike is built differently. In his first official post-match comments, Tyson revealed that he is wide open to a rematch with Jake Paul in 2026.